The internet will show you a photo of Alice Parker, except it's not her. Sometimes it's a white woman. Sometimes it's a completely different black inventor. Sometimes it's just whoever someone grabbed from Google Images. Because here's the truth. We don't actually have a photograph of Alice Parker. We don't know what year she died. We don't know if she ever made money from her invention. We don't even know for sure what year she was born. But here's what we do know. In 1910, a young black woman named Alice H. Parker graduated with honors from Howard University Academy in Washington, D.C. This was the high school that prepared black students for college, a school that had been doing that work since 1868, right after the Civil War. 8 years later, in 1918, Alice Parker filed a patent for a heating system so advanced that the technology to safely build it didn't exist yet. And on December 23, 1919, the United States Patent Office granted her patent number 1,325,905. Title: Heating Furnace. We have her patent. We have her engineering drawings. We have her words describing exactly what she invented. We just don't have her face. But her words? Those survived, and they're brilliant. Alice H. Parker lived in Morristown, New Jersey. Most sources say she was born there in 1895, though some say 1885. We don't have a birth certificate to know for sure. What we do know is that by 1918, Alice was looking at how people heated their homes and seeing problems everywhere. If you wanted heat in 1918, you had options, all of them bad. You could burn coal, dirty, expensive. You're hauling heavy buckets from the basement. You could burn wood. Even worse, you're chopping wood all winter or paying someone else to do it. You could use a fireplace, but fireplaces don't heat a whole house. They heat one room. Maybe, if you're standing right in front of them. And all of these, you're keeping a fire burning all night. That's dangerous. House fires were common. Some people were using gas for lighting. Industrial buildings were using gas for heating. But residential gas heating systems were primitive, inefficient, and often unsafe. Alice Parker looked at all of this and thought, there has to be a better way. So she designed one. On July 9, 1918, Alice H. Parker filed a patent application with the United States Patent Office. The world was still at war. World War I wouldn't end for another 4 months. Women couldn't vote yet. That wouldn't happen for another 2 years. And here's Alice Parker, a black woman who graduated from high school 8 years earlier, filing a patent for a heating system that would change how we think about warming buildings. 17 months later, on December 23, 1919, her patent was granted. Patent US1 325905. And in that patent, in her own words, Alice describes something that wouldn't be technologically possible to build safely for another decade. Let me show you what she wrote. If you want black inventors' stories told right, starting with the person, not just the invention, using their actual words from their actual patents, hit that like button. I'm doing a whole series on black inventors. Not the myths, not what websites copied from each other. Their actual words from their actual patents. Subscribe because I'm reading the primary sources. Drop a comment with inventors you want me to cover. Share this because Alice Parker deserves to be known for who she actually was and what she actually designed. All right, let me show you Alice's patent. Here's how Alice Parker opens her patent, in her own words. This invention relates to heating furnaces for houses or other buildings, and it has for its general objects to provide a comparatively simple, reliable, and efficient heating furnace in which gas is employed for the fuel, whereby economy of labor and fuel cost is affected, and greater flexibility in the operation obtained. Economy of labor, fuel cost, greater flexibility. She's naming the problems: labor, cost, inflexibility. Then she gets specific. A more specific object of the invention is the provision of a heating furnace which embodies a plurality of heating units independently controlled, which are supplied from a common cold air box, and which have individual hot air ducts leading to different parts of the building, so that heating of the various rooms or floors can be regulated as required. Read that again. Heating of the various rooms or floors can be regulated as required. Different temperatures, different rooms. You control them. That's zone heating. In 1919. Now let me show you how she built it. Most furnaces in 1918, one firebox, one big fire, one temperature. The whole house gets the same heat whether you need it or not. Alice designed something completely different. Referring to the drawings, one designates the various heating units of the furnace, each of which is provided with a hot air flue or duct 2, and the units are supplied with fresh air through a cold air box 3 that is connected through a pipe with the atmosphere. Various heating units. Not one, multiple. Each unit has its own hot air duct going to different parts of the building. All units share one cold air box pulling fresh air from outside. Inside each unit, each heating unit comprises a casing which has an opening at its bottom through which air passes from the cold air box. In the casing are a plurality of combustion or burner chambers located one above another and in spaced relation so as to form a passage for the flow of the air to be heated. Multiple combustion chambers stacked vertically. Air flows around them, between them, getting heated as it rises. This is modular, scalable, build it in units. Now here's where it gets brilliant. Each combustion chamber contains a gas burner connected with a gas manifold by a pipe, which has a regulating valve operated by pull chains from a point remote from the furnace. Pull chains from a point remote from the furnace. You're upstairs. Your bedroom is cold. You pull a chain. The valve opens. Gas flows. That burner lights. Heat starts. You don't go to the basement. You don't adjust dampers. You pull a chain. And because each unit has multiple burners, as each unit has a plurality of burners, the temperature can be regulated to a nicety, since one or more burners may be used, according to the heat required. Regulated to a nicety. Need a little heat? 1 burner. Need more? 2 burners. Need a lot? All burners. Variable control. Precise adjustment. In 1919, Alice wasn't just thinking about control, she was thinking about efficiency. The combustion chambers are separated from the walls of the casing so that air can circulate entirely around the combustion chambers to be heated thereby. And to cause the air to follow a serpentine course, a baffle plate is provided at the bottom of each unit, but alternately at opposite sides, which arrangement produces a more effective heating of the air. To cause the air to follow a serpentine course, the air doesn't flow straight up, it winds, it curves. Baffle plates on alternating sides force it to take a winding, twisting path. Why? Maximum contact with the hot combustion chambers. Maximum heat transfer. She's optimizing thermodynamics. She's designing airflow paths to extract every bit of heat from those burners. This is engineering. Real engineering. In 1919, Alice designed for safety. From the branch leads a small pipe that terminates within the chamber so as to constitute a pilot burner which will light the main burner as soon as the gas to the same is turned on. Pilot burner. It stays lit all the time. When you open the valve for the main burner, the gas ignites automatically from the pilot. No matches, no manually lighting gas, no risk of gas building up before you light it. And for maintenance, access to the pilot burner is had through an opening normally closed by a screw cover. You can service it, relight it if needed, but it's sealed during normal operation. For ventilation, each chamber has a connection with the pipe so that the products of combustion can flow off from the chamber. Smoke, carbon monoxide, they vent out. They don't back up into the house. And here's where Alice's systems thinking shows. Since the furnace is made up of units, the heating capacity can be varied. For instance, if certain rooms or floors are not required to be heated, the units connected therewith can be cut out of service, and only those units kept burning which lead to the rooms where heat is required. Small house, 2 units. Big house, 6 units. Apartment building, 20 units. Not using the second floor in winter? Turn off those units. Save gas. Need more heat in the living room? Less in bedrooms? Different units, different settings. 1 unit breaks, the others keep working. This isn't just a product, it's an architecture. A system for heating buildings of any size with independent control of every zone. In 1919. So if this is so smart, why was it never built? Alice Parker was ahead of the technology. Her design needs automatic regulation, thermostats to sense temperature, safety valves to shut off gas if the pilot goes out, sensors to prevent overheating. In 1919, those technologies either didn't exist or weren't reliable enough for automatic residential gas systems. The concept was sound, the engineering was brilliant, but the control technology to make it safe wasn't there yet. By the 1920s and 1930s, reliable thermostats were developed. Automatic gas safety valves came later. Modern temperature sensors came even later. By the time the technology caught up to Alice's vision, other inventors had built commercial heating systems using her concepts. Multiple zones, independent control, ductwork to different rooms, natural gas fuel. Alice saw it first, designed it first, patented it first. The world just wasn't ready yet. We have Alice Parker's patent. We have her engineering drawings. We have her own words describing a heating system decades ahead of its time. But we don't have her photograph. This is AI generated. I created it because no verified photograph of Alice Parker exists. These appear on websites about Alice Parker, a white woman with the same name. Bessie Blount Griffin, different black inventor. Marie Van Britten Brown, different black inventor. Journalist Audrey Henderson investigated in 2022 and confirmed, no verified photo of Alice Parker exists. We know she graduated Howard University Academy with honors in 1910. We know she lived in Morristown, New Jersey. We know she filed Patent US1 325905 in 1918. We don't know what she looked like. And the school where she graduated. Howard University Academy opened in 1868 to prepare black students for college. Alice graduated with honors in 1910. The academy closed in 1920. 52 years of education, gone. The school is gone. Alice has no photo, no death record, no obituary. That's erasure. Now about all those websites with wrong information. I don't think people are intentionally lying. I think they're copying from each other without checking the source. Here's how it happens. Someone writes, Alice Parker invented a heating system. True. Someone copies and writes, Alice Parker invented central heating. Not quite. Central heating existed. She invented a type. Someone copies that. Alice Parker invented the furnace. Wrong. Furnaces existed. Someone copies that. Her invention is in millions of homes. Completely false. Never built. It's not lying. It's information degrading through repetition. Nobody's going back to Patent US1 325905 to check. They're reading websites about Alice Parker, then writing more websites about Alice Parker. That's why I started with the patent, with Alice's actual words. Let me separate what we can prove from what we can't. Verified. Patent US1 325905. Filed July 9, 1918. Granted December 23, 1919. Alice H. Parker, Morristown, New Jersey. Howard University Academy. Honors, 1910. Never commercially built. Multiple independent heating units. Zone heating. Pull chain remote control. Serpentine airflow. Pilot light auto ignition. Speculation. Born 1895. Probably no birth certificate. Died 1920. No evidence. Cold winters inspired her. No source. False. Invented the furnace. Invented central heating. In millions of homes. The truth is enough. Alice Parker designed zone heating in 1919, before the technology existed to build it. Multiple independent units, remote control, serpentine airflow, auto ignition, proper ventilation, variable capacity. She documented it in detailed engineering drawings, filed a patent, got it approved. As a black woman who graduated high school with honors, during segregation, before women could vote, while World War I was ending, she saw the future of residential heating and put it on paper. The world caught up decades later. That's what Alice Parker actually did, and that's impressive enough. If this showed you who Alice Parker actually was, not myths, not guesses, just Patent US1 325905, hit that like button. Subscribe for more Black inventors told right. Drop a comment with who I should cover next. Share this because Alice deserves to be known for what she actually did. I'll see you in the next one.